The Niger Delta Development Commission, Nddc, says the interim committee set up by President Muhammadu Buhari will not be pressurized by anyone to pay for unexecuted jobs at the detriment of the region and her people. Acting Managing Director of Nddc, who led a delegation to a budget defense at the Senate, reveals that in the face of underdevelopment within the Niger Delta region, several acts of immense fraud has been uncovered by the committee.
I really want Nigerians to know that no one would pressurize us to pay for contracts that are less than 20% that were legally given, because the Procurement Act is clear, especially in my case as the Acting Managing Director, CEO. I want to assure this Senate committee that history will never repeat itself. The people of the Niger Delta will find it very difficult to complain that they're marginalized if we don't redirect the system and to ensure that people pay.
The Senate Committee on Niger Delta Affairs observes that indigents and residents of the Niger Delta region over decades have complained of neglect, deprivation, and hunger. But the Nddc is confident that the 2019 budget is set to correct several misplaced projects within the region through proper assessments, and expect those who belong to these communities to take ownership of projects cited there.
There were a lot of misplaced projects, priority in those projects, and that's what we're trying to correct in this repositioning process that we're putting in place. And now we're trying to ensure that there's a proper needs assessment, not based on friendships, for projects to be taken to various communities. I'd like to say that we are particular about the environmental impact assessments.
Acting Managing Director of Nddc, while defending the Commission's 2019 budget estimate of 346,388,921,000 based on revenue projection, says the budget is aligned strictly to the federal government's vision for the region, and Nddc is ready to restore sanity into the Commission and chart a new course for the region.
We're trying to give a human face to all of this. A lot has happened, and if those things didn't happen, there would have been no need to bring in this interim management. And with the letter from the President to the Senate and the National Assembly, we have been brought to come in to run this commission, and of course to superintend over the forensic audit, and to bring all of these things together to ensure that things are done properly.
I expect that for as long as we have brought this budget, please adhere strictly to its provisions so that nobody comes scampering around or pressurizing you to get projects done in a different states.
9 states make up the commission. And out of these 9 states, you have some having over 60%, while some are having 2% provision for projects.
Defending the Commission's budget before the Senate Committee on Niger Delta Affairs, led by Senator Peter Nwaboshi, the Nddc Budget Defense Team restated its resolve to refocus on the mandate of the Commission to facilitate the rapid, even, and sustainable development of the region into an economically viable, socially stable, ecologically regenerative, and a politically peaceful region.
Our priority is birthing to a new Nddc that will place emphasis on critical sectors of economy to complement federal government's effort in uplifting the standard of living of the Niger Delta people.
Budget. At least I was chairman of this committee in the 8th Senate, and I have my reservation about the expenditures and how the 2018 budget was implemented.
If we are talking of empowerment and we are thinking of employing the youth, and agriculture is not having, it's having 0% in the budget, where do we engage them?
The Nddc notes that no amount of intimidation would deter the Commission from ensuring cross-border development of communities within the 9 states of the Niger Delta region through people-oriented development and empowerment projects. President Muhammadu Buhari had recently reversed appointment of the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission, pending conclusion of work by the Interim Management Committee saddled with the responsibility of carrying out a forensic audit of the commission.